And yes, I'm in. Cool, time for a quick vlog. These last few weeks have been flying by, and this is defo, I've said this the last couple of times and they've been the same length, this is definitely going to be a short one because I've slowed down again the last few days. But I want to just talk really quickly to keep myself up to speed with the stuff I've been doing, about what I've done for the last week. So if you're watching the last one, I'm in Colombia, I've been here for a couple of weeks now, down in the south of the country, which still loads of travellers but not as well travelled as some of the more popular places in the north, like Medellin and Cartagena in the north. But I spent the last week or so in two places. So the first place was a town called Popoyan, or city, aka the White City. Really old, traditionally like the really old capital of Gran Colombia, like hundreds of years ago. One of the first, I think maybe the second oldest city in Colombia. Called the White City because all of the buildings around the town are in the centre are painted white, with quite a disgusting backstory that basically there was this awful disease that people were getting, which was like eating their feet up, these little mites eating their feet, and they had to paint all the town white with this like thing that killed the bugs. Anyway, some really nice, beautiful buildings in the town. We spent a few days there, pretty cool, chilling out. Drank the most delicious drink that I've ever had in my life. It was like a weird ice slushy fruit thing called salpicon. Oh my god. So I went to the same restaurant like 4 times in 48 hours, which was quite a lot. I had a really good time there with a couple of other travellers, as well as Nadia, who I'd been travelling with. Nick and Maddie, who I'd met in the previous place in San Augustine, came, and actually I didn't even know it was coming, a bit of a surprise to check into the same hostel. So I hung out with those guys for a couple of days, exploring the city. Really cool town. We climbed up to the hill which overlooks the town, over Monument. That was pretty fun. Guys, Nick, Maddie.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Hello, Andy's travelling boy.
Decent view of Popoyan. And all in all, nice place to kind of chill out, really good food. One cool thing that happened when we were there, so Semana Santa, which is basically like the Easter week, is a big deal in Colombia. I think I mentioned on the last vlog, but I hadn't realised is that like the week afterwards they basically do all the celebrations again, but it's just kids that do it, and they're basically practicing for when they are grown up and can do the real celebration. So there was some like massive parades of kids going on right outside the hostel I was staying on, which was on the main square. The funniest part was that they're all playing these musical instruments, and for some reason that I obviously have no idea why, they were playing the Sound of Silence like over and over again for like 10 minutes. I've captured a little bit of it. I mean, there was thousands of kids just parading along, so that was pretty funny. So yeah, cool, Popoyan, really cool town. Next place I came to is Cali, which is where I am now, which is one of the larger cities in Colombia. Famous for salsa. It may surprise you to know that I was not particularly interested in doing much salsa, but I did have a good time. I did a free walking tour, looked around the city. It's not the most beautiful city, but there are a couple of really cool buildings. There's a really amazing church in the centre. And that was good. One night with a couple of people from the hostel, we just kind of walked around the local neighbourhood, and there's just like a really cool park where it's obviously just a place where people go and chill. It was absolute vibes. There's families. This is like in the evening, 9, 10 in the evening, kids playing around, people playing music. It felt like a festival, but it was just a Sunday in Cali, so that was really cool.
I don't know why. absolute vibes.
I just realised this music's a little bit loud. I'm going to turn that down a bit. I'm listening to a new top 10 from Magda from Poland. Top 10's been absolutely flying. I'm up to 62 now, 620 songs. I've had loads in the last sort of 4 or 5 days. Some people I've met and have just done them straight away. Some have been waiting for ages. Anuj, I met in Costa Rica, which is like 2 months ago, finally got his submission in. So I've got loads and loads of stuff to do. Out at the top now are the Beatles, 6 songs, which is the same as Michael Jackson and Bon Iver and Neil Young, but there's 6 different ones as well. So another week, constantly learning more music. It's awesome. I think I might have achieved, actually, in doing a really quick one here. I've been hanging out in Cali the last couple of days. I'm going tomorrow to a place called Salento, which is famed for being one of the more beautiful places you can hang out in Colombia. So watch out for the next vlog. I think I'm going to have some really good stuff there. But this one, yeah, hope you're all well. As always, drop me a message and speak to you soon. Mwah.